I've been to Gaza 4 times, a huge privilege, but a very traumatic one. We've seen the devastation of the huge and unsophisticated bombs that are raining down on Gaza now, and it's worse, they tell me today, than it was in all of the other wars, and they were horrific. It's Nakba Day, and we've been told a bit about Nakba Day on 1948, when the British gave Palestine to build an Israeli state. We have huge responsibilities in all of this. Palestinians have lived in those lands for generations, for 2,000 years, and their homes have been taken and they've had to leave everything. I read of one settler who said in the Nakba, "I went into the house and the coffee was still warm. The family had been evicted and they'd left everything." And today we've heard the same thing is happening in Sheikh Jarrah. Some of us have been to Sheikh Jarrah and taken part in peaceful demonstrations there as we have watched the Zionist Israeli extreme right taking over homes. They already have homes, some of them more than one, but they want to get the Palestinians out of their homes. And when they leave, they are ejected. They take nothing. No toys, no possessions, nothing. They leave and they run. And so this is why this is something of the context of why we've got rockets going from Gaza and bombs coming down onto Gaza.
No justice,
in the
no
last
peace!
year, more Palestinian homes have been demolished than in the last 10 years. Olive groves, farms, all sorts of places where Palestinians live have been destroyed. This is getting worse because there are no internationals able to go in and add to the opposition and hold the Israelis to task. And in the holy month of Ramadan, as we heard, Israeli army entered the Al-Aqsa Mosque. I saw pictures of Palestinians at prayer being kicked and being shot. I've seen those pictures. They've been sent to me by a nun friend who lives in Jerusalem. And many have been injured, and some shot in the face, young men who've lost their sight. So why am I saying this? I'm saying it because it's the context of why the rockets have gone from Gaza and why they didn't come out of the blue. Remember, they're homemade rockets. They're sophisticated, but they're made with piping. They cause some damage, but not that much. But bear in mind that in every Israeli city, there are shelters. We've been to some and we've seen them. So, all right, it's traumatic for the Israelis. I don't doubt that for a moment. And we wish no one to be killed. But they have somewhere to run. The Gazans have nowhere to run at all. Gaza is the most densely populated place in the world. It's the size of the Isle of Wight, with 2 million people living there. No shelters, nowhere to run. So when the Israelis say on our televisions, we called them and told them to leave the buildings, excuse me, but where the hell do they go? There is nowhere to go. Everything is tightly packed in. What we also have to realise is that the Israeli army is the 6th most powerful army in the world. It has more sophisticated weapons than anywhere else, and we need to recognise that it sells weapons to many other countries. And what does it say? It says, tested in the field. The field is Gaza. All these weapons are tested on Gazans. Gaza, where we were there, we went there just after the 2014 war. All right, I'd never been to a war zone before, but my husband and I were broken down into tears quite quickly as we saw the incredible destruction. So you would walk round a corner, and from here to Parliament Street, there would be nothing at all. Craters, broken buildings. And in those broken buildings, we saw families and children had nowhere else to live.
No justice, no peace!
No justice, no peace. No justice, no peace. Israelis bombed then and now schools, hospitals, mosques, churches, factories, ambulances, and hundreds of homes and high-rise buildings. It doesn't take many bombs to do some of those high-rise buildings because they're very powerful bombs. But let's get it clear. There is no comparison between the strength of the Israeli army and the Palestinians. The Palestinians have no army, no planes or airports, no tanks, no shelters, very inadequate health system and lack of medicines and medical care. They have some weapons, they have rockets, but that's all. And the strength of the Israelis. So when we hear this is a war between two countries, no, it's not. It's not. It's an occupation.
It's
and
genocide.
Israelis, with all their power, bombing a people who have nowhere to go. When we were in Gaza, we had spent some time with children who lived through the war. Many had lost their whole families. All of them were scarred, either physically in their bodies, but all of them in their minds and their emotions.